Hi everyone, I'm Hayley. I'm always in the craft room, and I'm sorry, but we're doing this first part of the vlog holding the microphone because the first thing I need to show you today is this blouse. So I showed you this blouse in a recent video and told you that the reason I wasn't wearing it was because the neckline kept flopping open. And this placket goes all the way down to here, and my bra band is here. So when it flopped open, it flopped all the way open. And I asked you all if there was anything I could do to fix it, because this is such a pretty shape and it was driving me mad how it was always just like this and, exposing me unintentionally. And one of my very kind commenters said, just hand stitch it closed. And I'm like, yes, obviously. So that's what I have done this week. Now, it's still annoying me a little bit, I've got to be honest. That kind of does my head in. But at least it's not now opening all the way down here. And I've got to say, it has much improved the fit at the bust. Before, because it was coming open all the way down to here and splitting there, it just looked all kinds of sloppy. So it's actually fixed a fit issue as well, and it's fine, isn't it? It's the kind of thing only I would notice. And I love this fabric so much, and I do like this pattern. I just wish the collar would behave. But anyway, I am actually really pleased with this now and will wear it. I modified the original pattern by making it sleeveless and then adding the sleeve ruffle from Tilly and the buttons. So this is a free pattern available on their website, and I like sleeveless garments in hot weather for airflow, but I like just a little something over my shoulder for sun protection. So I think it is actually made for a really cute blouse, and I'm really pleased with it. I don't know if I'll make it again because, as I say, this annoys me. And I did think about adding a tie, but I know myself well enough to know I will just dangle that in my coffee. Okay, let's get this microphone properly situated and I can tell you about all the other things I've been up to this week. I had a work meeting in North Manchester, and that is close enough to South Manchester to pay a visit to Leon's Fabrics in Chorlton-cum-Hardy. And that place, I love it. It has a little bit of everything and a lot of some things. It has every colour of lining fabric you will ever need. It has so many lovely wools and suitings. And it had, finally, at last, white jersey fabric worthy of a t-shirt. So you may know I've been searching for a fabric from which to make just a plain white t-shirt for months. And I've just been an absolute Goldilocks about the whole situation. This one's too thin. This one's too thick. That one's too optically bright white. That one has too much yellow in and is too much of a cream. Anyway, I got to Leon's, and when I found their rack of plain fabrics, I had a couple to choose from. And I chose this one, which you will see does have a floor in it, but because of that, it was only £3.25 a metre. And I have checked and I can definitely cut round it. But I just absolutely loved this fabric. It is a plain knit, as in a knit and a purl, but it's somehow heftier. Some of you will know better than me. Is this a double knit? Is it an ITY? I don't know, but it's really nice, it's really hefty, and it is not at all see-through. And it's soft, so it ticks every box for me. So finally, at last, I can get on and make a white t-shirt. Whilst I was getting my fabric cut and paying, out of the corner of my eye, I spotted this. And I actually spotted 2 bolts of identical fabric in different colourways. One was this, the purple with the pink, and the other colourway was this hot pink as the background. So imagine this pink where the purple is, and then the pink was replaced by bright orange. So I was honestly a little bit torn as to which to choose, because hot pink is normally my go-to, but I don't love pink and orange. I know. I don't like pink and red either. Just don't. But I don't love purple. But I don't know. I was in a bit of a rush and I was like, I've just got to make a decision. I love the print. I don't normally go for such a large scale print, but I thought it would be nice for a change. And I just went with my gut and got the purple and pink. And it's a really lovely cotton. Does it have a tiny bit of stretch? No, oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. On the cross grain, there's just the slightest bit of stretch. So I will tell you more about what I'm going to make from this in my summer plans video. I've got a few ideas, but I'm not certain about which pattern yet. But I love it. So I'm so glad that I managed to call in there and get 2 fabrics that I have been looking for. So apart from my hand sewing, this week I have been working on another white linen top. Some of you will recall I cut 3 tops out of a length of fabric, and the third one I just had lost the will to sew that fabric. It was just too much. After I'd done 2 complete tops, I just put it away, but I have now picked it back up, and I've got to say I'm loving sewing with this. I am making a Dominique blouse. So the base pattern is the Republique du Chiffon Dominique jumpsuit, which I have made twice before. And I also made this little blouse from the top half of that pattern. Now, I did make one design alteration because the jumpsuit has release pleats at the waist, and I instead rotated that bust shaping into a side seam bust dart. And this top has proved so useful and I absolutely love it, but I wanted another one in plain white to go with more things and also to wear for work, because I love the style of this for work, but in a chambray it just felt too casual. So I've been working on that and I've been doing pretty well, but I have of course come up with a couple of challenges because it's me. So first of all, I've moved these pocket pieces, pocket flaps, there are no pockets, slightly more towards the centre, because on my last couple of versions I felt like they were too far away. And I interface this as per the instructions, and I'm not sure. It seems a very bright white, doesn't it? Hang on. Found it. I did a sample, as I always do when I'm choosing which interfacing to use, and I tried a few different ones. I tried one that kind of matches my skin tone. I tried a natural and I tried a white. And what I ended up going for was the natural, because the peachy one, you can see it through the fabric. Can you see it there? Yeah, didn't love that. So I went for the natural because I felt like that was the least noticeable. However, I do feel like it's quite noticeable, but even just double thickness of this fabric makes it appear a lot more white. I have interfaced the collar piece as well. And I did have to piece the collar, because the under collar, because when I came to get this out of the project bag, as I mentioned, I'd cut it out ages ago. I realised I hadn't cut a collar. I don't know if I just overlooked it or if I thought, oh, I'll do that later on using my rotary cutter. But anyway, I hadn't cut one. So cut one collar and then I had to piece the under collar. So I think it will look fine with the bright white pocket flaps and the bright white collar, but I am now a bit concerned about the facing, because one of my pet peeves in life is when you can see seam allowances and facings through white garments. So often what I do, and what I did with the other 2 of these garments, is do a binding instead of a facing. So on my October top, I did a true binding, like a double fold where it wraps over the top. And on my kind of pattern Scout Flora, I used single fold binding, sewed it to the right side, flipped the whole thing into the inside. And I don't mind the look of that at all. I think that looks quite nice. So when I came to do the facing, I thought about whether I could bind it instead. because down the front of this garment, there is going to be a facing all the way down the front, and I just think you'll see the shadow of it. But the facing becomes the collar, because you like so this is the right side of the garment, and then you sew a facing, and then you flip this and press it, and the facing's on the outside. So at first I was like, well, I'll just bind the neckline and it will just be bound all the way around here and that will look lovely. But it's not possible, is it? Because if I say I did a true double fold binding and set off up here, well, when I get to this point, there's nowhere to go because, yeah, junction. If I did a single fold binding where I flip it all to the other side, then on this part, you won't see the binding, you'll just see top stitching. But then on this part, you will see the binding because it will be flipped to that side. And I guess I could then carry it on around there, but I just think that will look so weird with no binding and binding. So basically, I think there may have been a way to do it if I thought of it earlier on in the process. Maybe you would bind the collar. Oh, I don't even know. It's not possible now. So we are doing the facing. I guess all of this is to say I'm contemplating the facing and I think I might not interface it. Am I going to live to regret that decision? I just think if I interface the facing, it's going to be such a bright white shining through, whereas just 2 layers of this fabric, I think you'll see something, but it won't be as obvious. And this is pretty stiff, this fabric. I think it will hold its shape just fine, but do let me know if you think that's a terrible idea. The next step in construction is to sandwich the collar and the facing and sew all the way around the front, and yeah, I don't like that step, so I left it there last night. But I'm really pleased with how it's looking, and I do think it's going to be gorgeous when it's done. On this pattern, the instructions at the armholes are just to turn and stitch. And that is what I did on this blue one. And I've got to tell you, I don't love it. I just think it looks a bit tatty. So I've already overlocked the edge of this because it does say to finish this earlier on in the instructions with the intention that you then turn it and stitch it. And I kind of wish I hadn't, because I did have enough fabric to cut bias strips. So that's what I've done. I've cut self fabric bias strips, and I am gonna bind the armholes using the second method I described. So a single fold, and I'm just gonna flip it to the inside and top stitch. And I just think, firstly, that will look better, and also it will mimic all of these extra white details. The pocket, the facing, the collar, and the armholes will all have the white shadowing through. And yeah, I think it will be fine. I do still need to find some buttons for that. I haven't even looked in the button stash to see if I've got any. And the last thing I have to show you this week is a crochet project. It is a finished shopping bag. And I wasn't feeling well earlier in the week. I had a bit of a cold, and I just wanted a project that I could do without too much thought, but that was distracting enough to stop me from thinking about how bad I felt. And I will link to this pattern below because I think it's really lovely. So you start off with a granny square, and this was my first ever granny square, which is a bit crazy. So you start off just making this square, and you think that's going to be the base, but it's actually not, because you then skip stitches at the quarter points, and the base is actually a diamond, if that makes sense. So it's the granny square, but rotated. I don't know. I think if you know what I mean, you'll know what I mean. And if not, that will just sound like gibberish. But long story short, very cute shopping bag, really pleased with it. And it's much lighter weight than my last shopping bag, which I love, and I think it looks fantastic, but I have to be in the mood to take it somewhere. It's less of a like grocery shopping bag and more of a, I need to take a bag with me today and it's important to me that it looks nice. This, I think, will just be much better for keeping in the car and like nipping into the shops with. And the pattern I used didn't include handles. It was for this chevron design, and then it said to just attach pre-made handles. But where's the fun in that? I wanted to make some, so I kind of just freestyled this, to be honest. I did some extra rows of double crochets around the top and kind of winged it. I will link to another tutorial below which I used to get the methodology, if not the stitch count. And I deliberately made these straps wider because I have found with crochet bags, if you put a lot of weight in them, they really dig in. This yarn is a paint box yarn recycled cotton. And honestly, this is the reason I can't shop online. I bought 10 skeins of this and I love the colour, and I've always had good experience with paint box yarns. I've used their 100% cotton and their chenille, and I've really liked both. So I didn't really have any qualms about ordering this one. It arrived sealed in a 10 pack, great. But when I came to open it, which was past the returns date, and I felt it, it's just really scratchy. And I bought it intending to make a garment, which I did start. I got quite a few rows in, and then I just thought, be honest with yourself. You're never going to wear something. You can hear it, can't you? You're never going to wear a garment from this because it's just too scratchy. So yeah, now I've got 10 skeins of yarn I don't like. So I made one into a shopping bag just to have some easy, repetitive project to do whilst I was sitting on the sofa sulking about having a cold. So that's my little catch up. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.